Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching Boom, the political vigilante. Truth rising up from the outskirts of Gotham, deep below Wayne Manor. A great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show and you can submit articles like Tim Stack has done. Tim, you have been supporting the show literally from day one, and I very much appreciate it. Texas big oil lawyers target Native children in a bid to end tribal sovereignty. Man, so this is what they're going after, the Indian Child Welfare Act. So, and I'm going to get into what in a second. That was basically what I'm going to show here, and is the oil companies found this way to sort of loophole to get in. Oil companies will do anything to give up, so the Native American can give up their sovereign land. And I'm going to show you an activist video to explain it even better than I am. But I just want to go over the fine points of this first. And I'll put this link in the show notes. And if you're watching live, this is also, Kate is putting this in the chat. So if the Supreme Court overturns the Indian Child Welfare Act, Native families' mineral rights and self-determination could quickly become collateral damage. They will do anything, the oil companies. Tribal sovereignty could soon be a thing of the past in the U.S. should the justices rule in the plaintiff's favor in the Bracken versus Holland case. The Brackens, the white adoptive parents of a Diné child in Texas, seek to overturn the ICWA by claiming reverse racism. Oh, God. Here we go. Joined by co-defendants, including the states of Texas, Ohio, Louisiana, and Indiana, states that don't have high Native American populations. So they're finding white people to say it's reverse racism, but it's really, we're going to find out in a second, there's a law firm that's working pro bono to protect the Brackens. Oh, because they just care about the Constitution and people's rights. No. The Gibson Dunn, a high-powered law firm which also counts oil companies, Energy Transfer, and Enbridge, responsible for the Dakota Access and Line 3 pipelines, among its clients. This is what these weasel sons of bitches do. This is what these weasel sons of bitches do. The ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, was drawn up because back in the day, Indian children were just ripped from their families and taken away. So they're using this, they're finding a loophole. And this article is very lengthy and has a lot of dense information in it, which I urge you to read. And also there's a way to take action. And I'm going to put that up on the screen in a second, but I want you to listen to what this activist, this Native American activist has to say, because he explains it quite well.
There is a very real, very palpable war in our country, in the United States. Bracken versus the United States Department of Interior. This is an attack on not only on ICWA, but on indigenous nationhood. The Indian Child Welfare Act, it requires children to be placed with native kin, native family, native kin. These lawyers are trying to say that this violates the Equal Protections Clause of the United States Constitution because it disfavors white people. They're debating, are Indians a race of Americans whose attainment and goal should be civil rights and equality with the European founders of this country? Or are they independent, distinct native nations? That is at stake here. They are constantly trying to absorb us, trying to attack us on every little front. They're trying to get us to be a race of people whose ultimate attainment of justice and equality would be the attainment and protection of our civil rights. They are hell-bent and dead set on eliminating our political distinction, our existence as sovereign entities. You know, I shared a meme on my page just, I believe it was today, that the most dangerous weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
So, that was Chase Iron Eyes who said that. So, what the point that he's making, just for some people who might not understand this, is the Indian reservations, the way they were drawn up, they're sovereign land, right? The Navajo Nation it's their own country. Now, the United States governments, since they've committed genocide against the Native Americans, have tried to do all of these things to take away their power or to make them. I mean, we've talked about this: murdered and missing indigenous women. You know, if a non-native is thought to maybe commit a crime against or on native soil, tribal police can't investigate it. They got to bring the FBI in. There's usually, like, in some cases, there'll be like 2 FBI agents for an entire region or state. So they've been trying to basically take away the sovereignty of these Native American tribes. And what this lawsuit is doing by saying, no, they're not a sovereign nation, they're an ethnicity, then what they can do is say, they're making it seem like it's a constitutional issue, so that these white families should be able to adopt a Native American kid or whatever. And but what it opens the door, if they say, oh, they're not sovereign anymore, they're not sovereign nations anymore, they're just a race of people, well, then we can go drill, because it's not, because technically any tribe, that's Navajo soil, it's not American soil. So they can't. That's what the Dakota Access Pipeline was all about. That's what was so maddening at Standing Rock, because it was going across the Dakota Nation. It was there. They didn't want the pipeline going across their sovereign soil, and they were like, too bad. The citizens of, I believe, North Dakota said, we don't want this pipeline near our community, because if it spills or whatever, it could contaminate our water and hurt our kids. So we don't want that. They were allowed to say that. So you see how this is, you see why the Energy Transfer partners, these pipeline people, well, then we can just do whatever we want, like we do with American land. And they found this, they're just looking for any sort of chink in the armor to pry through, it's for money. They don't give a shit about the Constitution or people's rights, and these oil companies don't care at all. They don't care at all. So the link to this is in the show notes, and I'm going to put it on the screen in a second. This is something to here it is right now. It's on the screen right now. action.lakotalaw.org, action.protect ICWA. So if you just basically go to lakotalaw.org, but you see it on the screen right there. This is these oil companies are just awful and ruthless, and you can't shame them. You can't write them a letter saying, how dare you. Have to just block them legally, physically, whatever you can do. And what are they going to do? They're going to use these states that are pretty red state and say all these, some white red state conservatives who feel like all white people are being mistreated. They're going to be like, see, and they are going to take away. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised too if they, some of these Indian reservations, they'll have casinos, and that's a way for them to generate revenue. And, because they're on sovereign land, even though that state might say casinos aren't illegal, they can put it on their sovereign land. So, like California is one of those states that does that. This kind of shit makes me so mad when they're just, and then the the ICWA, the EQA, as he said, it is it's been pretty important because Native American kids were taken out of their families. They were sent to boarding schools. They were not allowed to speak their own language. I mean, it was really awful. That's why this ICWA is so important. And so getting rid of that is awful, but then getting rid of it, so then that opens up to drilling and pipelines and all this other crap. So it's awful on several fronts. So you see that in the screen right there. Go there and take action so that we can prevent this, and get loud about this and share this on your social media. So that is, I really thank Tim Stack for submitting that to us. Got to stay on top of it, guys. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. It's all about the money. That's what they're doing. They don't care. They've never cared. The oil companies don't care. They don't care whose lives they ruin, what water they contaminate. They don't care. They don't care. And if you sit back and do nothing, they'll come for you. You don't have to be Native American to be mad about this, because they'll come for you. Look at Flint, Michigan. That's not a Native American tribe. Those are just working class white and black people getting screwed over. Think of all the places that contaminate water. Red Hill on the island of Oahu, the Navy contaminated the water. The Navy, and they don't give a shit. It's about land, it's about water, and they'll come for yours. They will come for you. They will come for you. Fight them hard. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood, and go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.